It's week 6, and Duffy's about to undertake a very different week of training. Rather than have him practice rudimentary workouts, he's going to be focused on performing tasks and doing manual labor for people he hasn't even met before. So, I put a post out on the internet advertising free physical labor for this week. Our first stop this week was at the home of Chantal. She's a nurse that lives in the area, and she has some firewood that needs chopping. Chopping the wood down to size is really difficult for Duffy. Some of these pieces have really strong cores, and that's proving to be really hard. Once he gets to start splitting the wood, I think he's going to see just how satisfying it can be. Alright, so we don't have enough wood to actually split, so we've got to chop some of this down. Chopping form is different than splitting form. So when you're chopping, when you're splitting, we're using that real big, powerful strike to do that, but if I do that here, I've got to reset every time because I sink the blade into the wood. But if I'm going to chop, I'm going to be a little faster with it.
Watching Ross chop wood was a little intimidating. He was so fast. He was so rhythmic. He was so good at doing this. And when I tried, I was slow, I was clumsy. And I understand that's kind of the case with anything.
Good.
When you compare me and him right now. But just watching him go at that thing with those fancy spins to his swings, they're pretty good. But I eventually got more rhythmic. I eventually got faster. Not as fast and as rhythmic as he was, but I did really pick up speed and learn more.
Ladies and gentlemen, he can be taught.
I have to say, there is nothing more satisfying that I have ever done outside. Like splitting a log in half. That is one of the most satisfying things I have ever done. When the axe just cuts right through the wood and the thing just splits apart down the middle and both sides fly off of the little stump. It's not only satisfying, it's amazing, and it really helps build confidence. Granted, this is a whole lot easier than chopping wood, especially when the wood has a thick core like what we were dealing with earlier. Even so, this was really, really fun.
There we go.
Alright.
Very much. Alright, big man, how you feeling?
I think that there's no dirt here.
We're digging up the plants.
I'm pretty sure that this is just solid wood underneath here, because I can't get the shovel in there at all.
Hold on a second.
The day after all of that wood cutting, my muscles were killing me. I could barely walk, or stand, or twist around, or squat for anything. So on Wednesday, Ross helped me stretch and work my muscles loose so that way I wouldn't be in so much pain. That way on Thursday, we could go and dig up a bit of weeds and roots for this woman so that she could put in a flower garden on her own time.
Day 2 of Labor Week brings us here to Helen's home. There's a bed of weeds and tree roots that we need to dig up to make room for a flower bed. It seems like an easy enough task, but the weeds are all wrapped around each other, meaning that they really hang onto the ground.
You know, Stephen had me do a lot of hard things this week, but day 2 was the hardest. Digging up these weeds was really hard to do. It really frustrated me because there were times where it felt like I wasn't getting anywhere with the job. But we did manage to complete it, thankfully. It just took a lot more effort than I was expecting. You would have thought that digging up weeds and grass wouldn't be that big of a deal, especially when compared to chopping wood and whatever we were going to do the next day. But you'd be wrong. This was so much harder. But by the end of it all, I was pleasantly surprised with how it all turned out, and I kind of wish that this had been on my own property.
It's the last day of work, and we're cleaning out a backyard for an old client of mine. Fono has a lot of branches, a playset, and some cinder blocks he once moved over. The truth is, only some of this is actually helping Fono. But when Fono found out this was all for training purposes, he came up with a few more tasks to add to the work.
I gotta say, I thought we would have tools to dismantle this playset. I was wrong.
It wasn't an easy week, but Duffy learned some new skills, pushed himself harder, and I'm guessing he's ready for a couple of days off. We're running out of time.
Thank you all so much for watching this video. Please be sure to subscribe to the channel for more awesome content from us. And also, check out our Patreon if you want to support us, because we all know YouTube ain't doing that. Thanks again for watching, guys. Leave a comment so we can hear from you, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.